Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Live Healthy Miami Gardens Facebook Live weekly health and wellness series brought to you by the City of Miami Gardens, Live Healthy Miami Gardens, where we bring you and your family information and resources to help our Miami Gardens community make the healthiest choices possible for ourselves and our families. My name is Katia Harris. I'm the program coordinator for our Village Parenting Program at Jesse Trice Community Health System, a member of Live Healthy Miami Gardens, and your host for today's Breastfeeding Masterclass. As you know, Live Healthy Miami Gardens was born from the realization that although health is largely influenced by our individual choices, the conditions in the communities where we live, learn, work, worship, and play are also major contributing factors to the racial and ethnic health disparities faced, as well as our overall ability to make healthier choices. We know that these conditions are systemic, historical, and continue to impact us as communities of color and as a whole here and now. Live Healthy Miami Gardens is a community initiative and part of the city's efforts to address these conditions and reduce poor health outcomes through the transformation of policies, our environment, and the healthcare system overall, making the city of Miami Gardens a healthier place to be. Joining us today is Breastfeed Miami Incorporated, currently one of the largest, if not the largest, breastfeeding organization in Miami-Dade County. Joining us from Breastfeed Miami are two of our 9 board members, Esther McCant, CEO and doula with Metro Miami Agency, and again, board member of Breastfeed Miami, as well as Erica Robinson, who is the Public Health Nutrition Program Director with the Florida Department of Health in Miami-Dade County, and again, board member of Breastfeed Miami. Thank you both for joining us today. Let's start out. Can you tell us a little bit about yourselves, as well as Breastfeed Miami? Esther, I'll start with you. If you could tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Esther, and I'm the CEO of Metro Mommy Agency. Metro Mommy Agency exists to provide maternal health consulting for organizations, institutions that are looking to improve birth outcomes here in Miami-Dade County and throughout South Florida. We provide birth doula support through doula care. So we have doulas who are trained professionals who can support families in the prenatal period while the birthing person is pregnant, with childbirth education, relaxation techniques, coping mechanisms, and we also provide in-person labor support for families to make sure that they have a smooth birthing experience, but also protect that initial breastfeeding experience soon after the baby is born. And we also have postpartum doula support as well. We're training doulas here locally and mentoring them, and we're just super excited to be part of the board and one of the founding members for Breastfeed Miami.
Also, thank you for sharing. And Erica, if you could tell us about yourself, as well as just some background of Breastfeed Miami.
Yeah, definitely. My name is Erika Robinson. I want to thank Katia and Live Healthy Miami Gardens for having us here to represent Breastfeed Miami. In addition to being a board member with Breastfeed Miami, I am the director of the nutrition program, the WIC Nutrition Program here in Miami-Dade County. And if you are not familiar with WIC, we provide supplemental food benefits, nutrition education and counseling, and breastfeeding support and education to over 70,000 people here in Miami-Dade County. WIC is a program meant primarily for pregnant, postpartum breastfeeding women and infants up to the age of 1, and then children up to the age of 5. So we really care for our youngest and some of our most vulnerable populations. We have been supporting breastfeeding since really some of the early years of WIC, and WIC is celebrating our 50th anniversary nationwide this year. And WIC was really one of the major forces that started with the peer counselor program, which is really training, regular people like us, regular moms, to help other women and families be supported in their breastfeeding journey. And this is back when, really not very many people were breastfeeding at all. And so, I don't want to misspeak, but I think it's 13, 14 years ago, we started doing an annual event in WIC where we would recognize Breastfeeding Month. Breastfeeding Month happens in August. There's National Breastfeeding Week and World Breastfeeding Month. And over the years, we, grew and grew. We got more and more partners, and we realized there were so many more people in Miami that wanted to be a part of, not only our breastfeeding event, but just support breastfeeding families in Miami and whatever their journey may be. And really, that's how Breastfeed Miami came to fruition. A few years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, Katia. Again, my timelines in the last few years are a little messed up from COVID, but we started collaborating with other community partners to be bigger than WIC, to be better serve our community with celebrating breastfeeding and celebrating our families. And so we started to partner up that way. And then we realized, wow, we really need to formalize this. We need to have an organization where not only do we do events with the community, but we are a resource for our community. We are a one-stop shop for information about breastfeeding and how to get support in our community. And that could be for families, but it could also be for professionals, for organizations, for businesses. We want to be that go-to resource. So we are very excited that we were finally able to become that organization and finally incorporate, and we're working on our nonprofit status as we speak. So that's where we are as of February 2024. It's very exciting.
Beautiful. And I know you mentioned, again, congratulations to us for officially being incorporated. I know that's part of our 2-year goal, a strategic plan process. I want to know if you're able to share a little bit more about or summarize what those goals are, or just a little bit about what the intent is behind having this this plan in place for Breastfeed Miami as well as our community.
Yeah, so one of the things we wanted to do was have a really clear purpose and path and mission for our organization. We wanted to make sure that people knew what we were about and, what we were able to provide to our community. So we came up with a 2-year strategic plan. We prepared this last year in 2023 in the spring, and we officially released it then. Basically, we have 3 major goals included in that plan. The first one is to develop a framework for sustainability for our Breastfeed Miami coalition. So, we again are very excited and, super stoked that we were able to become incorporated. That was a lot of work. And the board really put their heart and soul in our coalition members as well. So we are already moving forward on that goal so that, again, we can be recognized, we can apply for grants and, really build sustainability for our organization. The second goal is that we want to identify and understand the unique breastfeeding needs of the Miami-Dade community. So every community is different nationwide, and Miami is no exception to that. So we want to really know, what does our community need from us? What do we need to provide our community so that they feel that they are successful with breastfeeding or their child, feeding needs? How does our community want to be approached? All of those things are really important. And what's actually happening right now? A lot of that is just finding out, what is out there already, and what can we build upon? And then our third goal is to improve breastfeeding awareness, education, and advocacy in Miami-Dade. So we want to, again, build on the things that are already happening and make them better, create more resources for families. I know, Katia, you'll talk about our website in a minute, but be that one-stop shop where people can go to us when they say, hey, I have a problem, or I need help, or if a business wants to learn how to better support their families that work for them, we can be that resource. And so there's a whole lot of activity happening with that right now.
Awesome. Beautiful. And I know you touched on it a little bit already, but how does given, like, we have the needs assessments and everything, how does Breastfeed Miami how has Breastfeed Miami already been supporting the breastfeeding needs of mom, baby, and family alike, or what are some opportunities that are available now for the breastfeeding families in our community?
Well, I mentioned, we do host some large community events every year. For the last few years, we've hosted, like I mentioned, our community breastfeeding family awareness day. It's a huge event. Anyone is welcome. We hosted it in Doral last year, and we are actively looking for location this year. We plan to do it in August, which again is World Breastfeeding Month. Save the date for August 24th. We're going to be sending that out soon, and all the details on the location. But that's a really great event because in addition to just having a lot of fun, it's an opportunity to meet with all types of organizations, hospitals, providers, nonprofits, everybody that has a stake in, early child feeding and nutrition and breastfeeding is there. And so you get to talk to a lot of people and learn about what resources might be there for you. We host the Art of Breastfeeding Day as well. And Katia, I'm sure you could talk a little bit more about that. But that is an art-focused event, on community event that supports breastfeeding and imagery, especially in our colored communities and BIPOC communities. And it really celebrates the beauty of breastfeeding and their experiences. And that's a really unique and amazing event. And then again, we're working on our resources and related to that third goal, which is kind of how do we get all of the support we need to get families out there. And and that's a big one that we're doing. I don't know if Esther, you want to kind of go into a little more of the website. Are you a part of that goal?
Yeah, so I think the goal is to make sure that we have community members joining us, not only on the coalition, because we still will have that coalition aspect to Breastfeed Miami. We do have 9 board members really helping to steer that coalition, but we do invite a wide variety of partners and stakeholders. And I know one of our interests is to make sure that throughout the community, professionals who are working with breastfeeding families have the education, continuing education, and understanding of breastfeeding so that throughout our community, we can have consistent information about lactation and breastfeeding for families. And I think that's really important. Working as a doula, I've seen families who are really frightened and afraid of breastfeeding because of poor experiences in the past or just misinformation, thinking that certain myths are true and they're not, and a lack of education that really harms families long term, because we know breastfeeding is a life-saving option for families who, even if they have high risk pregnancies and babies that end up in NICU, those babies really do benefit from having breast milk available. So we want to make sure that this information lands in the hands and of those who are experiencing the breastfeeding themselves and their families, but also for the providers who are out there, maybe even listening. If you don't have resources for breastfeeding, for lactation, we do invite you to visit our website. And our website is breastfeedmiami.org. That's where you can get access to different resources. We have resources for parents. And if you're a provider or someone who's interested in joining the coalition, you're more than welcome to join in as well and follow the page because it's going to get updated quite a bit with resources and event information.
Awesome. And I'm glad that you shared that based on both your observations and experience to have a need for a coalition like Breastfeed Miami, and also the opportunities for the provider's role in ensuring that families get the proper, adequate breastfeeding support, but then also the providers themselves get the necessary tools to support these families. With that said, given that we have these resources and everything, what are also the roles that you're looking for providers serving these breastfeeding families to take?
I could definitely comment on that. We're really working hard to make Miami-Dade County more breastfeeding friendly in general. We also even have our county's mayor, Daniela Levine Cava, who's introduced it into her roadmap for children's success, that she wants breastfeeding to be a focus for the county. And so we want providers who are interacting with families prenatally and postpartum during that postpartum period to have the resources available so that even throughout the county, there's this integration, there's this connection connection to lactation resources. And so, one of the things that they can do is seek to become a breastfeeding friendly environment. Right. So we have what we call baby friendly hospitals here in our county. And I know Erica can also speak to that as well. Also serving on the Healthy Baby Task Force, that was one of our roles, was to support having more hospital systems that will support lactation via training their staff, investing additional dollars into that as well. And we're hoping for providers to be willing to do the same at the clinic level, private practice, just all throughout the county. I don't know if Erica wanted to add on that.
Yeah, there's so many environments that we'd like to touch on. Again, it's not just families and the mom who's nursing. It's the workplace. There's actually a lot of research that shows that supporting a breastfeeding family actually saves dollars, saves time off from work. And so we'd love, one of our goals to create toolkits and provide education to businesses that are interested in learning more about how they can support their breastfeeding families, whether that's with time off or maybe with pump support, whether that's a space to pump. It's actually the law. They have to do that. And a lot of businesses either don't know or, maybe don't realize that they're not being that supportive. And, we want to try to bridge that gap. We want to be advocates for policy as well. So again, there was a new law that came out just this year for the Pumping Act and to support women pumping at work. And all of those things we want to help our community understand and make sure that we advocate for and help really enforce and make sure people have all that information. So we're really trying to touch many environments with the work that we do.
Okay. I appreciate you sharing that. And I know for a similar question for families, I know the role we want families serve to take is to be able to breastfeed and have the resources to breastfeed freely. Best case scenario exclusively, but just be able to be have an enjoyable breastfeeding experience. But are there any other roles that would like families to serve to take, whether in Breastfeed Miami specifically, or just as a community member or family in Miami-Dade County?
So if I understand you correctly, you're asking about, what can, everyone do just to support our families. And so some of the things, just as an example of, one of the things we do with your organization, Katia, is, we host a support group and we love it when family members come. And that's not just like daddy, that's aunties and grandmas and grandmothers and uncle, whoever, best friends, tias, whoever is going to be around your family. We love that they're part of the journey and learning with you because as anyone knows who's had a child, it's a lot of input from the people around you and the people you love, you trust, right? And if they don't know what, your goals are, especially breastfeeding goals, sometimes that can easily be derailed. So we really support involving your whole family in your journey, whether that's at a support group or whether that's at your hospital, even your medical team, and so these are kind of those resources that we want to, share with families on how to talk to each other and communicate that. Esther, you have anything else you want to add?
Yeah, one of the ways families out there, if you're watching, listening, definitely when you see our events circulating on social media, for example, please be sure to share it. A lot of the times people are finding our events simply because a friend found out about it, a family member found out about it, and just shared it. We do have an email list as well that we're building on the website. We are also on Instagram as well, at Breastfeed Miami. Breastfeed Miami, I believe is the total name there. And definitely follow us. That's a very easy way, costs you nothing to like, to reshare, to engage, to comment with us. It's really helpful. Even this video here, I think it's landing in YouTube somewhere. So please share it. And that's one of the ways that you can also promote breastfeeding.
Awesome. And I appreciate you sharing that. And I know we were talking about some of the activities earlier, including the save the date for National Breastfeeding Month um, in the end of August. Hopefully, in the end of December, beginning of December, during that Art Basel or Soul Basel week, we're gonna have our Art of Breastfeeding exhibition, and just look out for some other opportunities that are coming up, some other events that might be coming up between this year and the following years. In the past, we also had professional development opportunities. And other ways you can support is that we have calendars, our Breastfeed Miami calendars that's featuring the beautiful artwork of our artists throughout Miami-Dade County and Broward County, some professional artists, some student artists. And if you go on the and once you receive those calendars, you can see like just the passion put into the artwork, and is reflected in the calendar. So you could go on breastfeedmiami.org, click here to order your 2024 Breastfeed Miami calendar. And again, in this year specifically, because in the past we've had photography and artwork, and like traditional artwork. This year, this 2023, we are in 2024. So 2023, we have also have poetry, spoken word, and just other artistic expressions that go beyond just the traditional artwork. So with that said, um, I don't know. So giving it back to you all, is there any, before we close out, we already said how families can connect with us. Um, is there any call to action or final thoughts you want to leave with our community?
I just want to encourage everybody to check out our website, to check out our events. Like Esther said, look for us on social media. Everybody loves social media, so that's an easy way to get it out. And we do our big events, but we also share our partner events and a lot of good information about things happening in our local community. And that's, from the south to the north. We represent all of Miami-Dade. So we'd love to, see you at events. Follow us on our socials at Breastfeed Miami. And just get involved when you can. We'd love to have you. This is a very open organization. Anyone can join.
Now, how many coalition? I probably should have asked this earlier, but how many partners do we have so far, or at least how many partners we have so far?
Oh, off the top of my head, I know that we have at least 50 some people that join us. At our meetings, which are monthly. And we welcome people. So if that's something you're interested in, reach out to us on our website or through our socials. So we'll get back to you.
Awesome. Esther?
Yeah, takeaways. Definitely if you are someone who stands by breastfeeding, maybe have had a past experience, consider being part of the events that are happening. We do an open call for artists to share their work or to sign up to share their work. And so when those things come out, please feel free to join in and participate. I think you're going to get a lot out of it. And just know, we really try to create a very kid-friendly, family-friendly environment at these events. So you're more than welcome to come with your baby. Don't worry about not having a babysitter. We want you to be there. We want you to enjoy the time with us, and you will learn so much. I've learned so much even as a professional attending the events, and we just can't wait to see you all this year. So mark your calendars for August. Just wipe the whole calendar clean. Just have it breastfeeding friendly, okay, for this year. And we look forward to seeing you all.
Awesome. Thank you both again for joining us today. I really appreciate y'all in just regardless, but I really appreciate you coming today and sharing with our community information about Breastfeed Miami, having a reintroduction, especially for those who are already familiar with the efforts of Breastfeed Miami. For those who are joining us live or might be seeing this recording later, thank you so much for tuning in. Let us know your thoughts. What were your takeaways from this discussion? discussion, what you're looking forward to this year or in the next few years of Breastfeed Miami. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. As was said before, feel free, please, to share the streams and let us know what breastfeeding or adjacent topics that you'd like to hear us talk about, or guests that you'd like to see us join the Breastfeeding Masterclass. And follow Live Healthy Miami Gardens here on Facebook and YouTube, where we go live with our weekly wellness series every Tuesday at 3 p.m., including Breastfeeding Masterclass every fourth Tuesday at the same time. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, and at livehealthymiamigardens.com, offering more health content and resources. Again, thank you for tuning in. Both of you, thank you again for joining, whether joining live or viewing after. Have a great rest of your day and live healthy.